Ike and Tina Turner just coming up to 12:08. For 16-year-old friends in 1992, the band is everything. 25 years on, we are reunited with a group of friends, now 40-something women, as they try once more to fulfill their dream of meeting their heroes. Am I selling this at the moment?
You are.
Yeah. The Band is a new musical about what it's like to grow up with a boy band, set to music from the real-life boy band Take That. Curtis, Rachel, Faye are in the studio. Strangely, we got Rachel and Faye, who play Rachel and young Rachel, and I'm already confused. I'm not selling it to myself. Welcome, Curtis, anyway.
How are we doing? I think we refer to them as young Rachel and super young Rachel.
Well
It's
done.
a really nice, polite way of putting it.
That's the
jammy
way to do
dodgy for you, dear, isn't it?
Oh, I love jammy.
Oh,
We're
yes,
getting
my
started on the
favourite.
jammy
So
dodger.
many fans at Stage Door bring me a pack of jammy dodgers.
See, you're too young to remember the biscuits that came with the faces on.
Oh, BNBNs. BNBN.
Yeah.
Those.
BNBN, you see, that was a foreign import. And ice gems.
Ice gems.
Oh,
Yes.
Remember the party rings?
Yes.
Love party rings. Party rings.
yeah, you can stick them on your fingers and nibble it off.
That's the one. That was just on a Saturday night, though, so let's look.
It's an offence in 6 counties now. Anyway, let's move on back to this. Okay, who's going to tell us about the story of this?
Oh,
Faye,
go on,
range,
Faye.
go on, Faye, love, go on.
Okay, so it's about 5 16-year-old girls and the friendship between them and the love that they have for the boy band, their number one fans. And then disaster strikes one night, I'll say. And then it shows them 25 years later, and how they've what they've done within their lives and how they've come together.
Okay, and you are
I'm one of the boys in the band, and what's so great about this musical, if you haven't seen it, is it's an entirely original story by Tim Firth, and the music is present throughout the whole show, but it's not actually about us, it's about the girls and their lives and their stories and how they develop, and the music kind of underpins the story and particular scenes and emotions that these girls experience that allow the audience to kind of, wow, I never saw that song delivered in that way.
So I'm assuming there are. Hang on, Take That. How many were in Take That?
5.
7. Oh no, that's S Club 7.
Yeah.
Yes. Ugh, don't remind me. Were you fans of boy bands, both of you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was a little too old for Take That when they originally came out in '93. I was more of a Spandau Ballet girl, Duran girl, who I saw live. But certainly during their rebirth, shall we say, in the Patience era later on, then I was like, oh yeah, they're back. Okay, cool. So, but I do remember the mania of when they split, and that was quite huge.
Oh, yeah.
When they initially split, yeah. So I remember that very well. Yeah.
I was more your Glenn Miller.
Oh, cool.
I'm it now.
You're beautiful. Yeah.
And you?
Yeah, I was a fan of Blue. But so I was that kind of era.
The colour or the band?
No,
the colour as well.
Yeah.
No, I loved Blue, but I also listened to Take That as well with my sisters growing up.
So that would have been, they would have been the old boy bands as opposed to the new boy bands.
Yeah.
I think one of the beauties about this is the friendships that are featured in this show, because we all know we've all grown up with boy bands or with bands or with a singer that is very prevalent in our lives at the time, and each time they release something, it's as if they know what's going on in your life at the time. So they feature very heavily in your life of what is going on at that specific moment in time, and that's exactly what this does. And each of those songs that have been chosen for each of the moments within the show where they're used, they mean something very specific. And Take That never realised at the time when Tim chose the songs, and also those, because they're very, very, very heavily featured as our producers. They're really hands-on. Take That were very hands-on, and they very much didn't want this to be about them. It was a thank you to their fans for 25 years of loyalty and a friendship, because they're all friends to them. And this show is very heavily featured on friendship. And I think it's important to know that it's about 5 friends. And it's written by a man who is friends with Take That. And also who is friends with our producers, and we now have a cast of 43 friends. So it's very much it's a cast and crew of 43 friends. So it's
I'll be there.
it's very much about friendship and how intricate that can be, but how important that is in your life, that you don't necessarily realise how important friendships are.
Yeah, amen to that. That's fantastic. Should we listen to the medley?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Are you
Oh
singing
no,
on
the
this?
lads are in that.
Oh,
It's always about you.
thank you.
It's all about him.
So come on, get it on. I don't know what you're waiting for. Your time is coming, don't be late. Hey, hey, so come on, see the light on your face. Let it shine, just let it shine. Tonight, the skies up above me. A star so bright you blind me. Don't close your eyes. Don't fade away. Don't fade away. Oh, yeah, you and me, we can ride on a star. If you stay with me, girl, we can rule the world. Yeah, you and me, we can light up the sky. If you stay by my side, we can rule the world. All I do each night is pray. All I do each night is pray. Hoping that I'll be a part of you again someday. All I do each night is think of all the times I close the door to keep my love within. Never forget where you've coming from. Pretend that it's all real. Soon this will all be someone else's dream. Everybody sing that song. Be someone else's dream.
Do you know, that alone is so clever. The pitch changes, the music, the beat, that was remarkable. And you were singing on that.
Yeah.
Shout it loud and proud, mate. That is fantastic. It is on the. It's arrived. It was last night at the Theatre Royal. It is a success already. Bums on seats.
Yeah, fastest selling musical of all time, I believe.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, touring in this country. not in the world. Not in the world, yeah. We'll
Sorry.
get there.
Somebody called Lloyd Webber on line 1. Very annoyed. You ain't got no authority. Do you know, you two, you're not related.
No, but everybody
We
says
get that
that. I know
all
we
the
get that
time.
all the time.
Yeah.
Although
So-
people do say you're a mum, I'm like,
No, I was going to say sister.
yeah, well done,
Okay,
right,
that's
right.
fantastic.
But no, funnily enough, we did something the other day where we were all sort of out together and we had pictures taken, and our older and younger selves were all stood next to each other, and we all slightly now look like peas and pods.
Yeah.
It's like we've all morphed into each other. We've been together that long. But Faye and I literally, when there's a moment where when I sort of open the show and then Faye comes running through the door, the first time my mum saw it, she took a deep breath because she just went, it's Rachel. Oh my God, it's Rachel when she was 16. That's quite frightening. So sorry about that. But Faye's a beauty, so I don't mind looking like that at 16. Thanks very much. I wish I'd have had that much going on at 16. I really didn't.
Yeah, I mean, how did you get into this? I mean, you are how old now?
I'm 27.
You're 27,
Yeah.
although you do look very young.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
It was starting to fade.
Right, love.
Yeah, steady. All right.
Gorgeous people, you know.
Exactly. Yeah. I never like take that anyway. Have you met the entire crew? I know it's an obvious question, but you have met, take that, all of them.
Yeah, very much so. They're our producers. So they're very hands-on. Actually, they were in rehearsals with us. If something wasn't working, they would go away and say, "Well, that's not right, is it?" There's certain music in the show, certain songs of theirs in the show that were initially in a different place, and they come in and went, "That's not right." So it's in a different place, and a new song has come in. So yeah, very hands-on, and they come along and see the show. Sometimes they'll come on and do the finale with us, which is an amazing experience to be part of when they do. I think we were just saying earlier, there was the very first night they came on, it was louder than a jet plane taking off the noise. It was the most, we could barely hear the band. It was an unbelievable experience, yeah.
I know we had the cast of the Jersey Boys, who I've never met. The Jersey Boys, but one of them has just worked out. Frankie Valli's on tour, and will actually be, they think, in the audience on one night. And that really must be
That's going to be. We quite like having them, don't we? We
Yeah,
like having
it's
them
great
in there.
fun.
Yeah, it's Mark likes to watch from the wings, which is really special. So you can, at the corner of your eye, you can see him smiling in the wings watching. And sometimes, so the audience don't watch them rather than watching the show, they will go in a box and lie down, and they'll listen to the show from a box. So because they like to hear the audience's reaction, but sometimes they'll just be in the wings and they will watch the flood and they'll watch certain scenes, and they like to watch the audience's reaction. Because I think now they realise it's not just about the music, it is about the piece as a whole and how the two intertwine, with their music and with Tim's words and with what, sort of the cast and crew of this production have put together, and the creative team. It's such an ensemble, and it's such a friendship, isn't it really? It's beautifully done, it's beautifully married together.
Is it an exhausting production? I mean, are you physically tired at the end of it?
I think it's quite like it's not only an emotional ride for the audience, but for us as well, because like from my perspective, being in the band and how we are ever present in these girls' lives, when you're watching the details of their lives unfold, and some of it, is quite like emotional stuff. You get carried away yourself sometimes. If you're a little bit tired, you're on your ninth show of the week, and you're watching the story, and you're there blubbing on stage, and you've only done it 250 times, and you're still there, like, oh my, it still gets me. So I think that element definitely makes each show that little bit more tiring, because you put so much of yourself into it, and again, it's so cleverly written how everything intertwines that you can't help but do that. You can't help but laugh and cry constantly for 2 hours.
Do you have a favourite track?
I do have a favourite track. It's Said It All. That's like just everyone in it. It's quite a still piece, and you're just listening to people's lives. I'm watching faces.
Oh yeah, you got to watch it, ladies.
I love the song These Days.
Yeah.
Really.
I didn't really know it very well until we did this, and that's one of it's actually one of my favourite scenes. It's the garden. Again, it's so still, and it's the way it's been written and intertwined with the music is so beautifully done. I think that's one of my favourites. But you can never go far wrong with These Days or Never Forget.
Yeah.
They literally do get you on your feet, and you can even
Jiggle.
you see the odd shoulder going.
Jiggle.
Yeah,
I
bit
do
of a
jiggling.
jiggle going on. Yeah.
And you've mentioned 4 there, and none of which we've got. Oh, there we are.
Never mind.
No, we got back for good.
Oh,
I thought
that's
we've got
brilliant.
Backstreet Boys. I'm like, yeah, put them on.
The Backstreet Boys, yeah, ladies and
Backstreet Boys,
gentlemen.
they feature very heavily in it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And the Andrews sisters.
Yeah.
Lovely. Laugh, a smile, and a funny walk. Listen, you're on there till the 26th of May, and then where? Where are you off to?
We're in Northampton. After
yeah.
that for 2 weeks. So Northampton, then Nottingham, then Glasgow, then Edinburgh,
Can't wait.
then holiday.
Then
Little break.
Holiday.
Little break.
Yeah, little break.
Have you got things planned? Are you leaving the country?
Yes. Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. Go on. You've got plans?
Yeah, just carrying on with music stuff. We have a little break. We've been on this particular leg. This is leg 2, from the start of January, where we started in Cardiff, and we've gone right the way through till July. So that's quite a
Yeah.
long
Stint.
lump of time anyway. We have a little break. We come back in September. We do the West End for 50 shows at the Theatre Royal Haymarket in London, and then we carry on the tour again until March 2019. So it's quite
It's a long stint.
Yeah.
yeah.
That must have been tough, actually.
Yeah, but it's good fun.
It's
It
good
is
fun,
really
yeah.
good fun.
It's I think because you're playing to each audience, it keeps it fresh. You know, every audience, every venue, every city is different. Some are more lively than others. But yeah, Curtis's hometown of Leeds was
Oh,
interesting.
yeah.
I mean, how many did you have in? What was your most in
I
one
think I
night?
was
Brilliant.
selected at like 300
It
or
was
something.
it was just wonderful to see. My mum brings coaches.
Yeah, she does.
Faye's family all came to Liverpool. It was just wonderful to see them all outside, including your little nephew who's
Yeah.
like 2. But it was covered in chocolate. It was just wonderful to
That's the
see.
way.
But that's what it's all about. It's family and friends.
Go
You know, that's what
Liverpool.
it's all about.
So your Leeds, your...
I'm North Wales originally.
All right.
But London 28 years, but North Wales originally, yeah.
And
Liverpool.
Which part?
Well, the Wirral.
the Wirral.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. No, that's
Nice
fine.
attempt.
No, and I'm just looking at a text here from James, who just says, anyone who likes Ice James has got to be great. Full stop.
Oh, thanks, James.
Good.
That's
Like,
funny.
we'll be on to Sherbet Fountains next.
Uh,
Well, they were
Dib
horrible.
dabs. Sherbet dib dab.
Yeah, well, dib dabs are fine. You can sort of lick off the sherbet, but
Yeah.
with the sherbet fountain, all got stuck up your little licorice pipe. If you're pardon me, can I say that on video? It's too late.
You said it now. Look,
That's too
that's a
late.
whole new show. That
That
is.
is, yeah. Anyway, thank you to all of you for ending this brilliant career. To Curtis, to Rachel and Faye. Bye.
Oh, thank you.
For me to give up, I feel it's time. Got a picture of you beside me. Got your lipstick marks still on your coffee cup. Oh yeah. Got a fist of pure emotion. Got a head of shattered dreams. Gotta leave it all behind now. Whatever I said, whatever I did, I didn't mean it. I just want you back for good. Want you back, want you back, want you back for good. Whenever I'm wrong, just tell me the song and I'll sing it. You'll be right and understood. Want you back, want you back, want you back for good. And we'll be together. This time is forever. We'll be rising and forever we'll be so complete in our love. We will never be uncovered I guess now it's time that you came back.
Sorry, we're just trying to get them out of the studio. It's chaos. We love them. The band, it's on stage, Theatre Royal, until the 26th of May. Thank you.